And now we're going to have Mary Simpson, who had by far the best headshot on the brochure. I don't know if you noticed. Mary Simpson moved to Allentown to walk home from the Old Pink and never left. She is an advocate for parks, a member of the Buffalo Olmsted Parks Conservancy Board and the Scajaquada Corridor Coalition, and was a leader in the restoration of Days Park. As executive director at Carnegie Art Center in North Tonawanda, she renewed interest in the historic Andrew Carnegie-built library and uncovered the relationship between the philanthropist and Sesame Street's Elmo. She has also raised $250,000 to move a cement painting of a Catholic saint from Graycliff to Buffalo State College.
Thank you. So what do Big Bird, Elmo, and a building in North Tonawanda have in common? Well, let's start with a capital C as the letter of the day for Carnegie. Andrew Carnegie was born in Scotland in 1835, emigrated to America with his family in 1848, settled in Slab Town, a slum now part of Pittsburgh. His formal education ended when he left Scotland, and he was employed as a bobbin boy in a cotton factory, earning $1.20 a week. He was the major breadwinner in his family. He was a voracious reader and took advantage of the generosity of a local citizen, Colonel Anderson, who allowed working boys to use his library on Saturdays. At that time, free libraries did not exist. His ambition and self-taught education led him to a superintendent position with the Pennsylvania Railroad. He began investing. By the time he was 35, he was so wealthy he considered retiring, but he didn't. In 1873, he bought his first steel mill, finally consolidating all of them as the Carnegie Steel Company in 1892. In 1901, banker John Pierpont Morgan purchased the company for $480 million, about $12.5 billion today, the number of the day, making Andrew Carnegie the richest man in the world. Carnegie believed that the man who dies rich dies disgraced, and devoted the rest of his life and most of his fortune to philanthropy, education, and international peace. When he died in 1919, he had given away almost 90% of his wealth. His foundation, the Carnegie Corporation of New York, has supported everything from the discovery of insulin to the dismantling of nuclear weapons. 26 organizations worldwide bear his name, working in art, education, international affairs, peace, and scientific research. Carnegie also said there is no use to which money could be applied so productive of good as the founding of a public library. And that is what he did, establishing 1,679 in the United States between 1885 and 1919, and 830 in other countries. The first library was built in his birthplace in Scotland, and that's what you just saw, where he also bought a castle. The first library in the United States is in Braddock, Pennsylvania, near the steel mills. 277 Carnegie libraries are listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Hundreds have been demolished. Almost every structure built followed the Carnegie formula. The need for the library must be documented. The village, town, or city must provide the site and dedicate 10% of the construction costs annually for operation and maintenance, and it must be free for everyone. Andrew Carnegie or his staff reviewed and approved every single design. The structures were created in a variety of styles, including Beaux Arts, Italian Renaissance, Classical Revival, Spanish Colonial, Scottish Baronial. All included a grand entranceway and Carnegie's name on the building. And this is the interior of the Carnegie Library in North Tonawanda. 11 were built in West New York. Lackawanna, Warsaw, Perry, Franklinville, Elmira, and Dunkirk still serve as libraries. They're used for other purposes in Selmac and Olean. In Niagara Falls, the Carnegie Library is now the Department of Community Development. Hamburg demolished its library. In North Tonawanda, it is the Carnegie Art Center. North Tonawanda asked for funding in 1902. Carnegie donated $20,000, and architect E.E. Drolman designed the classic Revival building. It was built of red brick with an interior rotunda and 2 large reading rooms. It could hold 18,000 books. A large stained glass skylight provided light during the day, and electric lights illuminated the reading rooms at night. It was opened in December 1905. When the North Tonawanda Library moved to a new site in 1975, it had 200,000 books in it. It became the Carnegie Art Center in 1976 and listed on the National Register in 1995. It combines art, history, and significant architecture. It supports art and the vibrant communities that art creates. The 20th century structure was finally updated in the 21st century with accessibility and new bathrooms, which replaced the single bathroom we had that was from 1904. I promised to explain how Elmo, Andrew Carnegie, and the Carnegie Art Center are all related. Andrew Carnegie's generosity gave North Tonawanda its first public library, and his generosity through the Carnegie Corporation launched the Children's Television Workshop, which aired the first episode of Sesame Street in November 1969, 134 years after Andrew Carnegie was born. He is a complicated man who lived the American dream. Should he be commended for his generosity? Yes. Should he be condemned for the brutality during the Homestead Steel Strike? Yes. We need to remember all sides of our history. We need to remember and practice our own civic responsibilities, so please vote. Thank you.